Welcome back to the channel, folks. This is daily update for Bed Bath & Beyond, and I am very bullish next week for the stock, and there are great indicators and catalysts that will be affecting the stock in a positive way. The very first one is CTB. For the folks that don't know what cost to borrow is, when institutions wants to short the stock because they know the price of the stock is going to come down and they want to make money on the prices coming down, they would have to short the stock. In order to do that, they would have to go to the broker and ask them, hey, Mr. Broker, I need 10,000 share of BBBY. Can you give it to me because I want to short it in the market? When he hands over the share, he's going to charge him a fee. What do? They sell that share in the market. When the price of the share comes down later, they will buy back the 10,000 share, pay back the broker the share, and the 107% in this case, they will pay the 10,000 share and 107% back to the broker, take home the profit. But what noteworthy thing about this one right now is there's only one share available as of close of Friday. That means the brokers don't have shares right now. What they would have to do is they would have to go to the market and buy more shares to be able to lend over to institutions or whoever wants to borrow at that point. So they don't have any shares right now. That's a great indicator, because once the broker go into that stock market and purchase, let's say 50,000 shares, that's going to bump up the price. Because this is the issue we were running into before, where it was failure to delivery. You know what this is? This is naked shorting. They don't have the stock in their possession and they are not able to fulfill their obligation, and they end up coming failure to delivery. Like one firm are supposed to pay 6 million shares to another firm. They didn't have the shares on their hand. They went to the broker. Broker didn't have anything on their hand. So they end up failure to delivery. This is the problem that SEC wants to address. And this is something that is in discussion right now because they want to avoid naked shorting, because the same thing had happened for GameStop as well. With that being said, this is the first indicator that makes me believe that tomorrow, Monday, brokers will go into the market and try to buy the shares so they can lend out if somebody want to short the stock. The second one is they are making their interest payment on February 27th and 28th. You know, that $24 million they were supposed to pay for the interest for the loan, where Chase Bank said, if you don't pay it, we're going to come seize your asset, and then we're going to go for the bankruptcy. This is the payment they are making on the 27th and 28th, which is, again, a great indicator that, okay, they're making their payments, they're good for another month. So that can also pump up the price. And again, you have to remember the short interest on the stock is really high. Let's look at the short interest right now. It is 56% right now. What that means is we could run into a short squeeze. Once we have a good momentum, people who are shorting the stock will have to cover their shorts, meaning like every time the price goes up, and if you're shorting the stock, if it goes up, it's a no-go for you. It's going to be a loss for you. So you would have to cover your position and you will buy the share back from the market. When you do that, you're essentially pushing the price even further up. So I have a couple of levels here. These are, supply levels I have. What supply level is basically is the resistance, where, stock comes to this level and there's a lot of sellers sitting here and they want to sell you the stock. And this is why it's going to plummet, right? If it crosses this, if it pushes through this, it could potentially get to $2. If it pushes from $2, it can get to $2.28. And these are the three levels that I'm immediately looking at for tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But at the end of the day, this is market, right? Things happen unpredictably. What we see here, we have to be very cognizant of the fact that, things can go the other way. For example, if I'm looking at the trade, I'm not just looking at the supply levels and demand levels. I'm also looking at the RSI, MACD. I also use EMA. I'm bullish for tomorrow, and I'll recommend you guys to definitely check out the stock at 9:30 or pre-market and see how the stock is doing. If you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.